When you do not allow yourself to completely get healed of past hurts before jumping into another relationship, just because you're going to know the pain of the first hurts or past hurts, you will bleed on people who didn't hurt you, and it will lead to a recycling of that old wound, and you keep getting hurt and hurt. Just that's because you cannot continue to do the same thing over and over again and expect to get a different result. Hello, beautiful people. My name is Ruth Bella Ihide, welcoming you to Relax Circle. Please kindly consider subscribing to this channel, hitting the like button, and sharing with friends and family so we can help women become the best version of themselves, irrespective of what they may have been or are going through. We're going to be looking at navigating the power of rejection towards empowering triumph. You triumph over rejection? How can you use rejection to your own benefit? Rejection is the refusal of something or a thing. Have you ever been rejected from a friend group? Or you probably anticipated getting that dream job, but you didn't? Perhaps you got a no after putting your all into a particular proposal or a project. Maybe you've been turned down by a crush or rejected by a lover. Rejection can leave you heartbroken and make you lose interest in the things that once fascinated you. As easy as it may seem or sound, dealing with rejection in an unhealthy or negative way can have an adverse effect on your relationship and can even degenerate into depression and anxiety. You feel pained when you experience rejection, not because you're a weakling, but because of the innate need for connection, acceptance, and affection. Our response to rejection most times depends on our attachment styles, that is, the models in which we develop our relationship with others. When you have a secure attachment style in which you view yourself as being worthy and lovable, you may be able to cope with rejection better than a person who has an insecure attachment style, who views herself as unlovable, unworthy, and inadequate. Getting rejected in all spheres hurts. There's nothing you're going to tell me, no matter how you feel, no matter how strong you are, it hurts at first. But being rejected by a crush or a romantic partner feels the worst. This is because it involves aspects of yourself that may be beyond your control. There's a deep feeling of abandonment. There's a tendency for the person to seek this fill the void by immediately attaching to another love interest. But that's not right. Jumping into another relationship to numb the pain of the first rejection can lead to an unhealthy recycling of the old traumatic wound of the first rejection. When you do not allow yourself to completely get healed of past hurts before jumping into another relationship, just because you're going to know the pain of the first hurts or past hurts, you will bleed on people who didn't hurt you, and it will lead to a recycling of that old wound, and you keep getting hurt and hurt. Just that's because you cannot continue to do the same thing over and over again and expect to get a different result. When a person makes it clear to us that they're not interested in us, either by being blown off, dumped, or friend zoned, it's a miserable feeling. I'm telling you. What leaves you pained may not be just the rejection, but the lack of closure and the feeling that this relationship was meant to be. You already had fantasized about a possible future with that person, and abruptly it comes to an end, and when you were not ready to let go, you know. So that lack of closure to the person and The inability to fulfill the dreams you already had concerning the future that you had anticipated with that person, is what actually leaves you hurt. Even though you know that you need to move on, your mind may not let you move on. You can't help but wonder what about you turns that person off, or what is so unattractive about you that they don't want to give you a chance. It can leave you feeling so worthless and incompetent, especially if you've been rejected in favor of someone else. It's easy to allow a negative outcome to create a false belief about yourself, like you're unworthy and unlovable. And you have questions such as, can I find someone like him again? What if I'm unable to connect with someone else in the same way? What if I can just change myself a bit so they can like me? It is natural to engage in a game of comparison, obsessing over what the preferred has that you don't have. You may find yourself plummeting as you desperately search for validation to feel better about yourself again. As bitter as it may sound, the truth is no one owes you a reciprocated feeling. No one. Just like you can't force yourself to love someone else, you cannot force someone else to love you. You cannot force someone else to reciprocate your feeling to feel the same way you do. It's not possible. Sometimes you may not be your kind's kind. I don't know if you get a picture. You may not be your crush's crush. Do you understand? You have a crush. That crush has another crush. So life is an irony, honestly. So don't beat yourself up. You don't have to feel what you feel. And if this will make you feel better, not everything is meant to be. You are not entitled to anyone just because you want them. You do not control other people's emotions, and it's not your fault. You may not be able to help but feel some level of resentment towards the person rejecting you. But the truth is, they do not owe you any justification as to why they are not able to conform to your expectations. And choose to continue to live in self pity or decide to view rejection as one of life's greatest gifts to you. Instead of allowing rejection to inflate your insecurities or define you, how about using it as a catalyst to become a better person? What if you open yourself up to look for hidden treasures instead of just misery? Difficult, I guess. Sure, it's a period of pain and self loathing, but it is also an incredible opportunity to understand yourself, your vulnerability, and take massive measures to heal them. How do you move on despite how you feel? Here's the deal: absorb the pain, allow yourself to feel sorry. Yeah, allow yourself to feel sad for a set period, a brief period. Jot down how you feel, the feelings, the emotions, the thoughts, the opportunities you think you may have missed, the regrets. This is a symbolic act of purging. Try not to worry about what you're going through or how soon you get over the pain. It's your moment to let out all the frustrations you have with what has happened, and so you can make peace with yourself. Some persons, in an attempt to comfort you, may say, don't be sad, get over it. But I'm telling you, give yourself the freedom to absorb what has happened without trying to force yourself onward. What matters is not how many times you get hit. You will definitely get hit, but how often you stand back up. Get up, girl. Build a strong support structure that does not rely on the validation of others. Discover interests and activities that will make you feel alive and make them an integral part of your life. Do not assign excessive importance on the rejection while evading more complex issues. There are much more important things to life than just one person that said no to you. Just because you get a no doesn't mean that there are no better yeses. It doesn't matter how many times you've been told a no. It doesn't matter how many times you've been into a relationship that didn't work out. You don't beat yourself up, girl. Don't get so consumed with the challenge of winning someone over at the expense of pivotal life's quest. If you spend your time chasing other people, your fixation for them increases. But if you spend your time exploring new activities and doing things you love, you become a better version of yourself. Try out things that you've always wanted. Rediscover lost passions from your past. Not only will you start leading a more exciting life, but your sense of validation will become increasingly self determined. And you won't feel the need to obsess over another person like before. You are far more adept to recovering from rejection than you anticipate. You're loving, you're lovable, and you've got this. So go, girl.